Honorable Minister for Health, an MP for Dwaboso, Kamna Mintah Akandoh on the line for a conversation further on this matter. You're welcome to Eyewitness News, sir.
Maro, how are you?
I'm well. How are you doing too?
Oh, I'm managing. It's not like yours, but I'm managing.
I know. Mine is I go through traffic and all of those things. You don't go through traffic, so it's okay. It's okay.
The usual is tedious.
No, you brought yourself. For me, I was my corner. Anyway, yesterday after your press conference, I had a conversation with the man you succeeded. He said that the things you said at the press conference are not accurate. More specifically on Lightwave, the new contractor or the new vendor that you are working to introduce, who has a 4-week plan that you talked about. You said that is a wholly Ghanaian entity and that the one that they are succeeding is not a Ghanaian entity. He said the one that was there before you came was a wholly owned Ghanaian company whose contract was signed even when the NDC was in power in 2016. Can you respond to these claims or these statements he made?
Maro, let me say good evening to your viewers and listeners. And just to be fair to your viewers and listeners, I will wish that once we have this conversation, you raise all the issues Okoe-Boye had the opportunity on your platform to spew out so that I can also have the opportunity to react to them. I am exceedingly surprised that Okoe-Boye should even be talking at this point in time. Because, to put it bluntly, he's part of the mess we are cleaning at the moment. And, Omaro, my difficulty is that when people create mess, and if you are put in a position like a ministerial position like mine, you are there to fix and solve problems. So that is not my problem. But then when people who created the mess are making it look as though you are rather the problem and creating the problem, then that is the problem. That is a major challenge. Let me highlight for the sake of people who are listening to us for the first time, and I'll state the facts as they are, and maybe you can ask me questions. Number one, it is very, very interesting that it is Okoe-Boye who is the spokesperson for Lightwave at this point in time. That's very interesting. Number two, I have never on this earth stated that Lightwave is not a Ghanaian company. So Okoe-Boye is actually setting his own questions and answering them. He's setting his own questions. He should play my voice anywhere that I said that company is not a Ghanaian company and probably is setting his own questions and answering them. But let me take you through the facts. Number one, the facts are that Okoe-Boye himself has admitted per his write-ups that Lightwave has been overpaid. Clear admission. In his own write-up, he himself has admitted that Lightwave has been overpaid about $10.6 million. This company was given this contract in 2019. And so it is not true that NDC signed this, contract. This contract was signed by Honorable Ajimai Manu. So that's also a lie. That's not correct.
He said you started it on a pilot base before you left.
That's correct.
Yeah.
But in your introduction, you said the NDC signed this contract.
Okay, so forgive me. I think I should have done the paraphrasing well. So he said that you and your government at the time engaged them on a pilot basis. And when he came, I asked him whether they were obligated to sign it, even though you left behind. And he said no, it was based on their own analysis. They decided to sign.
That's a fact.
Yes.
Yes, that's a fact. Now, the contract sum was around $100 million. He was supposed to connect 950 facilities nationwide. He was given 3 years. The contract was supposed to expire in 2022. Now, in 2022, the contract was not well executed. I mean, all the 950 facilities were not connected. The contract was extended to expire in 2023. At the end of 2023, the contract again had not been well executed. Not all the 950 had been connected. It was again extended to end on 31st December 2024. So hear me here, Umaru. After the time we took office, there was no contract So when Okoe-Boye talks about abrogation or termination of contract, he doesn't know what he's talking about. There was no contract in the first place when we took office. Tomorrow, again, the contract sum out of the 100 million and 950 facilities, about $77 million had been paid. And about 450 facilities had been connected out of the 950. And in fact, when we took office, we realized that the contracts were in milestones. Milestone 1, milestone 2, milestone 3. And therefore, at each milestone, the vendor should hand over everything, access to the data, access to the servers and everything to the state before he goes to the next project. The government at the time never took delivery of these. So when we took over and we did the assessment, we realized that there were gaps even in the hardware. So issues of quantity, issues of quality. And so when we did the analysis on the hardware alone, we had gaps of about $18 million. And again, out of the 450, we realized that about $66 million were corresponding to about 443 health facilities. Now, Okoe-Boye, who is the immediate past health minister, went ahead and gave this man almost $11 million to connect again 157 health facilities. Umaru, don't forget that this contract should not be pre-financed. So you don't give the contractor money before he does the work. He does the work, and according you do the evaluation before the contractor is paid. But in this case, Okoe-Boye paid him. In fact, Okoe-Boye was the person who paid the last $5 million to the contractor. So he should not be talking. And so out of the 157 facilities, what we can verify is only 7. In all this, we said, okay, these are the queries you must respond. But the software also didn't belong to the state. And so the state didn't have access to the data. We didn't have access to our service. And so what we will do is that we will sign a service maintenance agreement with the contractor so that we won't see this disruption. In the initial stages, the contractor said he had brought some invoice and therefore we should pay him. When in actual fact, he was holding on to about $11 million that he had not performed up to the expectation. And he said, once the contract had expired, upon what basis should I give you extra money? We can only give you extra money when we have a contract with you. And so let's sign the contract. In the contract, we said that, look, give us our data, access to our data and our service, access to the service. The vendor indicated that we should take any clauses that have to do with data out of the contract. And again, we should also not say we have verified 450, we should say we have verified 461. Umaru, at this point, the vendor was virtually blackmailing and holding the whole country to ransom. At each point in time, he will strip the system off and on as and when he desires. And for your information, you can verify from the various health facilities. For the past 2 weeks, the whole system has been shut down. Umaru, if you are a minister and then you are confronted with such a problem, you should always not go begging a vendor, oh, we beg you, please switch it on for us. Oh, we beg you as a state. You think out of the box. So what we decided to do is that, look, we will roll out a new software that will be owned by the state. And that was the biggest problem, which has brought us to this point.
He said,
And
he said just on that new software, he said you deliberately gave it a name that includes the word Ghana to make it sound as if it belongs to the state, when indeed it does not.
So is Okoe-Boye saying that the software for LIMS belongs to the state? Has he answered that question?
No, but he said it's Ghanaian owned, contrary to what you said.
Being Ghanaian owned, Omaro, let your listeners flow and understand this carefully. Being Ghanaian owned is different from, the software being the property of the state. These are two completely different things. And I am saying to him that they sat down, signed a contract, and so pretended over a contract that the software doesn't belong to the state. He should answer that question.
Okay. There's another thing
he said. Secondly, Omaro,
okay.
let me cross here, then you come in.
Go ahead.
Secondly, Omaro, what we also want to do is that we have to create a middleware, like an exchange system, where all our data will be lodged in. So even if you engage a vendor, the vendor will then be plugged into the system. So if the vendor decides to even go away, it will not affect your data. It's one of the issues. The next issue has to do with the rest of the 500. We are here because almost all these 450 were done by one person. So when that one person decides to switch the thing off, we are in trouble. So the remaining 500, going forward, we are not going to monopolize it. We are going to open up for people, Ghanaians, who will meet the requirement to also bid, and then they will plug them through the exchange. And so he also talks about a contract being abrogated, and that we didn't handle the issue well. If anybody caused financial loss to the state, it is Okoe-Boye who handed over. In fact, together it was about $10.6 million. That contractor has not done that work. He is the one who has caused financial loss to the state.
On that part of causing financial loss or allegation of same, you mentioned earlier yesterday that the Attorney General had been giving briefing on this matter. Do you know what the update is? Should we see any information about possible charges?
It is not only the Attorney General's department. Almost all the stakeholders are on board. Minister for Communication is on board. Now we are working with cyber security, and then NHIS and all that. AG is on board. Yoko is on board. So we have the opinion from the AG, and we are working systematically according to the recommendations and all that.
Okay. One more question before you go. He said yesterday again to me that you had made a statement which he says was false, and that you said the system was not hosted in Ghana and that it was hosted in India. He said the data center is on the second, or was it first floor of the Ministry of Health. So what you said was not accurate.
It is either Okoe-Boye doesn't understand what he's talking about, or he's being economical with the truth. One, Omaro, I can come and put a server in your room. It doesn't mean you have administrative access to the server. In your room, it doesn't mean that you have administrative access to the server. And I'm putting it on record that the cloud infrastructure and the developers are in India. And everybody, look, Omaro, speak to the facilities, the health providers. They will tell you what they are going through. And so when you have somebody who is just the immediate past minister who is part of the mess, this one, did you ask Okoe-Boye why he sat down, didn't demand what had been done already, and went ahead and paid the last $5 million to the vendor? Did you ask Okoe-Boye that question? So they said their own question, and then they embark on it like as though somebody has said something and he's answering. Why is he the one speaking for Lightwave at this point in time? Why is he the one speaking for him? And so, Omaro, for me, the most important point is that you must get out of this mess, this situation. It is not about somebody going to beg, oh, I beg you. No. It's about the state having the sovereignty. It's about state having access to our own data and our own service, and will not allow anybody to hold us to ransom.
Okay.
And so there's a clear roadmap going forward to roll out all the 450 facilities to be connected and continue the paperless system.
Very
and
well.
we are confidently pursuing that responsibly and decisively.
Before you go, one question. Do you know or suspect that the former minister has any interest in Lightwave? And two, do you, as current minister, have any interest in the new company?
My interest in the new company is to get all these 450 facilities back online and for Ghanaians to attend to the various facilities smoothly without any interruption. That is my interest. And I have an interest. And that interest I'll pursue.
The minister, the former minister, does he have any interest in Lightwave?
Well, when you meet him, you ask him that question.
Okay.
I'm exceedingly surprised he's speaking for them, but I think that I'm not the right person to answer this question.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. But
I wish there are other questions you could ask. And I've also heard about the fact that they say the new one is costing $50 million. I don't know where they are getting all these figures.
I think yesterday you said it's costing about half of the amount. And
so it is either they are being mischievous or they didn't understand what I said. A question was asked about the cost. And this is what I said. I said, we are not going to reinvent the wheel. We are not going to start all over again. The infrastructure that has been built, and that is for the state, that is what we are going to build on. The hardware, no. We are not going to buy any hardware. If anything, we are dealing with the software. And the amount that LIMS use to roll out the software, we are not going to use anything close to that. It is going to be far, 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 far less.
Okay.
So, for example, I'll cite an example. LIMS took 5 years to do this work, and LIMS, according to their breakdown, used about $23 million on the rollout of a software that is not for the state. And I made it clear that we will not use anything closer, near to 23 million, but again, the software will be the perpetual property of the state. Have I said 50 million?
All
what
right.
did you hear 50 million?
Because you said it will not cost, or it will cost around half, so the calculation was done. If the cost of the original program was 100 million, then the assumption was
if indeed they were not prejudiced, and I say on that same platform, I said we are going to use the same infrastructure. We are not going to buy
So if we were to talk about the specific figure that this new contract sum would be, what figure would that be in exclusive of the infrastructure that has been met?
Brilliant question. Number one, I've told you that it cost Lightwave $23 million as part of their breakdown in the contract to do what we are doing recently. And so the second point is that it's not going to be anything close to 23 million. Umaru, I am very careful. I knew this question would come up. I'm very careful not to put out the figure because we are still doing the piloting. Negotiations are still ongoing. We've not concluded the procurement processes. Why would I put out any figure? But what I can assure you as a minister is that it is never close to 23 million as names used.
Okay. Last question. We have
Go ahead.
The contract with the existing company. Have we abrogated it?
Which company?
The
LIMS. You're also falling victim to
sorry. I'm saying that
there is no contract.
So the LIMS was operating in a vacuum.
Listen to me. Then maybe I'll have to. That's
No, don't repeat yourself. Forgive me if I'm dragging you back. Perhaps
no.
I just wanted to understand.
Because you are asking and you are not clear. There are viewers and listeners who may also be confused like you. So give me the opportunity to clear. No, you don't worry.
No,
I'll repeat myself.
No, don't repeat yourself. My time is. I just wanted one thing. Is there a chance of the existing company taking us on anywhere to say that we have abrogated a contract and that there will be financial loss to the state through the payment of judgment debt? Are you sure where you are that we will not face any such situation?
If you want a copy of the contract, I can furnish you. I can give you a copy.
Very well.
And let me state it categorically that the contract expired on 31st December 2024.
Very well.
And so I or the NDC government didn't come to meet any valid contract
Very well.
in place, let alone
so there's nothing to terminate. There's nothing to terminate. Okay. Thank you.
There's nothing to terminate.
Very well. Thank you so much for the clarification.
Is that all the questions you can ask?
For now, yes. We'll do more later.
Okay, all right.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Please, when you go to Jaboso, tell them we say hello.
Very well. Very well.
And then right. In fact, I have one more question for you. Rice. On rice, something that you have a lot of interest in. Bernard has been on a campaign on the breakfast show about people who produce rice not getting the market. Those who buy and sell are saying that Ghanaians are not patronizing that because there's influx of foreign rice in the country, which is affecting them. I don't know if you have a comment on that as someone who is a rice farmer yourself.
Yes. Omaro, when you have a government that is overperforming, these are some of the challenges you face. And I'll give you why we are in this situation. Omaro, we are here because the strength of the cedi has gone down. And so the imported rice have become very cheap. And the cost of production of the local rice is high. And so we are not able to compete favorably with the foreign rice because of the strength of the cedi. Now the cedi has gained more strength. And so when they bring the imported rice in, the imported rice has become more cheaper. So it is one of the problems we are facing at this point in time. But His Excellency the President has directed that the school feeding program must be used to mop up all these farmers' rice. And I believe it is irrespective of the price.
Very well. But you see, the problem is that the farmers are saying they are not making money. The rice is wasting away. That is a problem. For you as a farmer, I'm sure you are affected, even though for you as a member of NDC, you are happy. But for you as a farmer, you will be crying. No business.
That's what I'm saying, that you see, there's a problem, but there is also a blessing. Your cedi has gained strength, and your farmers also are not able to be very competitive in the market. And so there's a problem, I agree. But I believe that with time, this problem will be sorted, because we'll have to encourage the local processors to go and mop up all these farmers' rice, and then we'll use that rice to feed the school feeding people in the system. And so I believe that it is not something that we will not have solutions to. But genuinely, I have heard a similar concern.
Okay. Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
You're welcome.
That's Honorable Minister for Health, a rice farmer, Member of Parliament for Jaboso, the Honorable Governor Mintah Akandoh. Ijubi, what else do you have for us?